Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Coco in the Sun podcast. I am your host, Malika Critchlow, and I am blessed to be here today. So, I haven't posted in almost 2 weeks, and it's because I just didn't feel like doing the podcast, and I don't like doing things I'm not really feeling. And so I was querying if I should be doing the podcast. Is this the path for me? If I don't enjoy doing it so much, should I continue with it? Um, and I've just been in a place of not knowing and waiting, a place of, not moving until I know how to move. This seems to be a theme in a lot of aspects of my life that I am and have been in for a few months. I think that I should be enjoying this rest period. And this is a time of kind of figuring out who I am, what brings me joy, what I really want to do. And it's not being clarified for me in a major way. Very much enjoying the little moments of the day and just doing what I want to do in the moment, such as going for a walk or what I want to eat or what I want to look at or what I want to research, what I want to read, who I want to talk to, but no bigger pictures. What do I want to do with my life? What is my purpose? Um, so sometimes I feel like when I look at the overall picture, I can't see it. Like I can't see it. I could just I just see the little moments and they don't seem to mean anything just yet. They probably do, and I just can't see it yet. I'm not supposed to see it yet. Probably supposed to enjoy this time. I think this is a preparation rest time before what comes in, and then I'm probably not going to be happy with the pace that things are going. I hope not. I hope the way I like things unfolding is in a way and a pace that I enjoy, that I don't feel overwhelmed by, but that I see progress by. And I see a lot of progress with understanding myself and where I am in the process. I just don't see a lot of progress in my physical reality, in the way of form. So I feel I would say a bit untethered. I feel a bit untethered. And I would like to ground here on earth in ways that consist of experiences that are based in love, joy, and laughter. And so I would like to do stuff that bring me a lot of joy and love and laughter in my daily life. And that has to do with, in whatever way I'm of service to myself and to others, how I interact with others, who I interact with, what I learn, and how I grow, how I expand. And so right now it is a bit um very like small, but I'm thinking it's small like this because I have a lot of stuff I need to clear. This keeps me safe enough to clear it so that I can expand uh, in a way that I would enjoy. So I know I'm supposed to enjoy this rest time here. Sometimes when I look at the whole outlook, it's kind of hard to see where it's leading in this reality in form. But I am learning things um, about myself and how I perceive things. And I'm really grateful for those understandings. So, like, I understood that I was in a hurry to get to the next side of it. One, because I wanted connection and interaction with others. And I wanted my interactions and connections to be valued. Like I wanted them to value me and value their connection to me. I wanted to have something to offer them. Um, something, not just being me, but something they can learn from me to help them be better, or something to help their lives be better, not just um not just in conversation with me. And so what I understood was I was still clearing a lot of stuff and still purging. And because I was, if I move too quickly into connections that are not authentically or genuinely based and in a healthy way for me, that I would be hiding aspects of myself, of my clearing parts of myself I'm ashamed of, from people, and I would be overwhelmed by all the hiding. I wouldn't be able to find me. I wouldn't be able to find me. I'd be going through a lot of different versions and not find what really makes me happy and who I am, essentially. My pure self, because I'd be too busy hiding, because I didn't finish clearing, because I'd put connection and being of value to others above knowing myself and then being of value to myself. So I understood that came in very clear for me. Um, so yeah, so this time really is a time of spending time with myself and learning what I enjoy. It just seems very slow going because right now I don't have much energy for much. As I was saying, like it's just like if I want to take a nap now, if I want to go for a walk now, what I want to look at now, what I want to eat today, what I want to cook. Cooking does ground me, I will say. Cooking and eating what I cook helps to ground me going for the walks. Sometimes though I have no energy on the walks and it feels like I'm moving through molasses. And then some days I have a lot of energy and I can move, fast and enjoy all the air and the breeze and the water. I love when it rains when I'm walking. I feel refreshed and revived. Um, so I think this is supposed to be enough. It doesn't have to be a huge purpose. It doesn't have to be some form of service I'm offering to others. It doesn't have to be, some business or some job I'm supposed to do. It just really have to be nurturing to myself and allowing that to grow me. Not really easy to do. And now that I have that understanding even more, because I feel I was getting it in phases. I feel like in my last podcast, I was probably saying that the trust and the faith seems to be a longer waiting period. So it's like a different aspect of the spiral, but it's taking me deeper. So the wait and the trust is going longer. The trust is building and building stronger. I think that is one aspect, but I also think it's more than that, right? It's nurturing myself here and taking the time that I need to grow, to just be. I didn't even know I had a timetable on this, or I had put a timetable on myself because I'm like, this is taking so long. I think I gave myself 6 months, but it's looking like it'll be more than that. Also understood that I was also trying to rush the process in order to, because I was concerned with people in my life seeing me in this process, thinking that it was unhealthy. I wanted to get to the end of it to prove that it wasn't a waste of time, that it did lead to a better life for me, deeper understanding of myself, and being in the position, the job, the service, um, the self-sufficiency that was best, the way to be self-sufficient that was best for me. And so I wanted to get to that answer quickly so that I would be less judged by others that I have in my life that I don't want to lose, or I don't want to think that this is crazy. I need to just get back out there. I just need to get back to work. It doesn't matter what I'm doing as long as it pays the bills. Um, and basically, like, it doesn't work like that. If I want to get to the end of what's best for me in order to prove to others that it's correct, and it's not the reason for it, right? I'm actually going to slow the process down more. It has to do completely with me and learning about myself and my own progression, and not worrying about how I'm judged by others and not judging myself. If I'm worried about how others are judging me, that means I'm also judging myself, letting go of that judgment and letting everything fall where it's supposed to. If they are not in my frequency and they don't see the value in what I'm doing, then it's okay if they walk away from the friendship that we have or the relationship that we have. This could be family members and friends, because it would mean that we just not aligned. It's not that it's wrong or right. They would be wanting what's best for me based on what they have learned from life, right? It's not like badly intentioned or anything like that, but if they couldn't deal with it, I wouldn't blame them, and it would be okay if they walk away, and I would have to be okay with losing even more of the friendships and relationships I've lost so far. I think I didn't want to lose that. I think that was a hindrance that I had as well. So I have to let that go. And I'm in the process of that as well, being okay with this could absolutely end up nowhere. It can take a lot longer than I expected. And, you know, I can be judged for it, and it's fine. It doesn't matter as long as I take the time that I need to understand myself. Yeah. And yeah, love all aspects of myself. So that was the other thing. So I learned that I wanted valuable relationships. I was trying to keep the friendships and get to the next side quickly because of what others would think of me. Um, and that I can't watch the process. It takes the time that it needs. I need to clear all these things. If I focus on trying to make connections before clearing, I wouldn't clear what I'm supposed to, because I would be hiding and ashamed of aspects of myself that I don't love yet. So this time is needed. And I think, like, I'm so grateful that that understanding came in. So I have been intentioning and wanting more to connect more clearly with my divine self, my guides and my angels, my teachers, whoever is helping me along with my evolution. And I think a lot of the messaging is coming in a lot clearer now, and I really appreciate it. Um, they also understood that I had blocks to receiving and being judged as a charity case, not wanting the life decisions that I've made for myself to affect others, and um, if they did want to help, not wanting to receive help in that way because one, I didn't want to owe anyone. Two, I didn't want to be judged by them because, even if you are helped, but you choose certain life decisions after said help, then opinions, well, would be had, and uh, they would feel justified in those opinions, right? So I've always been cautious with that. However, my communication with the universe about it may not have been, and let me tell you, my guides and my angels work with me in ways that I could accept. It's really beautiful how they work things out for me. Um, so anyway, yeah, so I had a problem with receiving the way things were coming true, right? And I would say, like, to my guides and angels, like, I appreciate that, but I don't want it this way. And sometimes I'd be mad. I'd be mad, like, why they keep putting me in this position. I don't want to, you know, I don't want things this way, and I wouldn't accept it that way. So they did find other ways to help. And I see now that things are opening up in a more neutral way. Um, and that I appreciate that they're finding other ways to work through it. What I am doing also, and now knowing that I do have some blocks in receiving in the way that they want to give, is thank them and really see how beautiful it is that they are trying to provide what I need, but in and not being upset but the way that they do it, but just being really grateful that they have and trying to accept it that way, but also saying, hey, because it's a communication, right? I'm grateful for this. I'm so grateful that you thought of me and you found a way around it and in the best way that you could work out. But this is what makes me uncomfortable about receiving in this way. And this is how I prefer to receive and see if that opens up more of my abundance coming in. Because I think I was really like, nah, I don't want it that way. This is how I want it. It's the only way I want it. And that's why y'all doing this? Like, nah. And they did find ways around. They work with me, let me tell you. I feel so loved and so protected. Um, so yeah, I want to be more loving and receiving in that way, but also I want to have a really good communication and conversation with them about how I like to receive as well. So they also know that while I'm grateful, really grateful, this is how I like to receive. And I think that will open up to more receiving in a way that I like and in the amounts that I would hope to experience. So yeah, so that was another thing that came through for me. Anyway, so yeah, so this is where I've been in the last 2 months. These are all the things that are coming in and I'm understanding and trying to move through. Some days and most days, I would say I do feel very much um like I'm understanding it and trying to move through it, but there are some days and some times where I'm like, this can't be my life. This this is it. I know this is not it because they've showed me stuff that's to come. It just hasn't come yet. And I believe it's coming. Like like I feel like 100% sure that it's coming. And I know this is a rest time before. And I'm going to embrace it. But yeah, there's some moments in the day where I'm like, yo, I need to be doing something every day to feel productive. And they're basically like, no, you need to just be and be okay with just being. So I have no idea how this is going to unfold, but I trust it will unfold in the best way and the most enjoyable way for me. Because essentially, that's what it's been since I've been trusting. Mostly. There's some aspects. Yeah, that's what it's been. I probably didn't think it would take this long. That's probably the only aspect. And probably didn't think it would take this long to break through to the abundance that I want in the way that I want it. But I believe that also has to do with my own allowing and found out what allowing was because I keep saying allowing and receiving, allowing and receiving. And I was like, oh, my intention to allow, I'm going to allow this and stuff, but I didn't understand it fully. And I got understanding that allowing really is just trusting that it'll come and not worrying about how it will come and just, yeah, relaxing into it coming, however it comes. And so I didn't understand that until last week as well, that came through. But for me to allow for things to come, I have to trust and relax that it will come in the right way in the best time for me and not get panicky and be like, well, when it's coming, it's not coming, it's not going to come, maybe something else is coming. No, it's going to come. And so I was also concerned with if I wasn't, but I wanted in my human form wasn't aligned with what my soul wanted. And so I was asking for clarification on what my soul wants and if my human self, my human wants, my physical wants were aligned with it, or if it didn't want it and so it was blocking it. And I really came through, I really understood that my divine aspects really love me, like love me. And as long as what I want in my human form doesn't harm me or anyone else, and me or anyone else's progression or evolution, that they do try to bring it to me in a way that's best for me to experience it. And that this came in so clear. It was such a beautiful experience. So they showed me how they loved me. Like they kind of showed, they kind of like, it was like I was up. There wasn't, I don't know, it was just like a clear thought of seeing myself being loved on, like how your aunts and your cousins and how you love like a baby. And you just love it, love it, love it. You just want to give it everything, make sure it has all it needs and stuff to bring it joy, kind of like that. And basically, the stuff that I'm asking for in my physical world, they want to give it to me. And it's not of hindrance to my expansion, and it's not of hindrance to any other's expansion or evolution. And so they do want to give it to me. In fact, they think it will enhance, I believe, my peace of mind, to relax more into being and then embodying my soul aspect and my true self, that it does work out that way. And then of course being that true self, being who I am authentically, then is of service to others because others will see that peace and that harmony and that joy of just being, and it'll help others do so. So yeah, so I understood that it was it was aligned. It wasn't a non-alignment. What my soul wants, my soul doesn't care about anything about money, essentially. It understands that I need to live here my divine self and my soul, my eternal self. Something I need to live in is the physical reality. But it's more focused on being love this lifetime, um, being and enjoying just being. And that being then teaching others and showing others how to just be and relax into it. And it's doing so actually in this process that I'm going through right now of learning to trust and allow the universe or my divine aspects, my divine soul, my angels and guides to figure out my physical needs and wants. So after that, go and let them do that. And then that communication occurs where I just want to do something, fill out a form, fill out an application, fill out this specific application. This one stands out to me. This one I really want to do and I'm excited to do. It doesn't feel like action. It feels like something I want to do and I'm excited to do. So all of that, all of this is all part of me getting there and getting the physical life that I want, and that physical life also being part of me just enjoying and being, and then being of service to others in doing so. And also, this journey of how I got here will also help me share with others what came up, what I had to clarify. Like today, what I'm sharing with the allowing, with the receiving, what allowing is, what was blocking me with receiving. I rush to get through the process and why the judgments of others and of myself of being in this situation. Um, and wanting to be valued by others before clearing what needs to clear. They showed me what I selected. Like I understand, and like at the end of it, when I clear what needs to be cleared without rushing the process, so I can get to the nitty-gritty of it, so I can really get to the next side of it without rushing it or trying to stop the process or limit the process and just letting it be whatever it is. I have picked joy and happiness and creativity and wisdom and love and freedom and um light, light and connection. And I've picked it. I already picked it. It was before I think I wasn't sure what it was. Because I was like deciding, am I this, am I this, am I that, am I that, am I that. So I've picked what I wanted. I finally have, but I do have to clean myself up to get to put on that aspect, that outfit then. So yeah, so that's it. So yeah, they do love me. I understand that I am loved. There's nothing that I want that they want to withhold from me or they're blocking. It's me allowing it to come in the time that it's supposed to and not rushing and relaxing in that. At the same time, um, knowing I'm glad to clarify it's not something that's going to block me that they don't want for me, that it is something that they want for me because I want it for myself and it helps me be more of who my soul is because I'll be able to relax and do all the things that I want to do with it, So really excited about it. Stuff like that. I still don't know if I want to continue with the podcast. I haven't gotten any clear confirmation. I've gotten confirmation, but I'm not sure if it's like clear confirmation. It's like nothing in my dreams. Like when the things come in my dream, I feel like it's clearer. I don't know. Or sometimes there's a thought that comes through while I'm up and I understand like that allowance thing came when I was up, that how they love me came when I was up. The fact that I have blocks to receiving came when I was up and stuff like that. But like the podcasting hasn't. I've seen like videos or like an Instagram post after asking if I should finish or continue with the podcast, things like you're on the right path. Or like what did it say? focus or practice. Like I get those type of cards in like my Instagram or my Pinterest when I do ask a question. Um, but it doesn't feel like it's like a confirmation for me yet that I'm supposed to continue with the podcast or not. But I am feeling like I wanted to share where I was in the last 2 weeks and um read some of the book today. So I will do that. But I'm not sure how regular it will be. If I will continue with it after today, I'm just gonna see what comes true on if I should do it or not and play that by ear. Um, I do need I do need more of a stronger confirmation from my team, from my spirit team, that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I think it's not a bad thing because but I feel like it's documenting my journey and what I am facing differently on each podcast. So that could be good in the long run. I don't know because I haven't gotten to the end, and the journey will never end, but I haven't gotten to a place in the journey where I feel that I can say, yeah, it works, guys. This is the physical evidence of it working, and not just be like, yeah, I think it's gonna work. I feel it in my bones. So, um, yeah, because I haven't gotten to that stage yet, I don't know for sure if the podcast does help. So only again, time will tell. Time is such an important aspect of this whole equation. Time allows us literally, for me, I choose to see it as a gift. It allows me to savor the time, but sometimes I forget to savor it. And I'm all in the rushing aspect of just understanding so I can move on and just do what I want to do with my life. Um, but I think this way is actually better because it allows it to come in an effortless, gentle way that doesn't overwhelm me, that doesn't feel hard, that doesn't feel like I'm forcing or pushing. And it allows me time with myself. It allows me time with myself. And if I am having trouble with too much time with myself, then I have to look at that. Be like, why aren't you enjoying your time with yourself? This is a gift. It is a gift. And they are taking care of my needs in a physical way, in a very beautiful way, in a way that I can accept, um, while I navigate all these things that I'm releasing, all these blocks to receiving, all this understanding of allowing, all this clearing of what needs to clear. So it's really beautiful. Other times says 222. Oh, what do I think of, divine partner stuff. Anyways, I don't know where I stopped the last time in the book, so I'm still reading this book with you guys. This is the thing too with this book is this is the section of the book that I don't enjoy. I think it was like I'm not excited to read it. I don't think I enjoy old ways of doing things because they seem so forced and practiced and not joy-filled and fun. So I think joy and fun are important for my progression and doing work to get an outcome. It's not, I've stated this several times. So maybe that's what's going on with me. I don't know. And this is the part of the book where they discuss different ways of doing stuff. Anyways, let's get through it. So I'm going to read the digit and then the chakras. The digit. As the car builds in strength, there is an alchemical task that the alchemist can undertake. However, this cannot be accomplished until there's enough energy in the car, since this act takes tremendous energy and intent. The task to which I refer involves the digit. The digit is the central pathway of the chakras of the spine. As energy is progressively moved upward, there is an accompanying expansion of awareness. The movement of energy up the digit is sometimes referred to as the act of raising the digit. And the power that drives this energy up the digit is nothing less than the Shakam or life force. The term literally means that which makes things erect. To better understand the profound effects of raising the digit, it might be helpful to take a look at how the chakras filter perception, since they are radically affected by this action. Okay, so the chakras. In terms of spiritual evolution and the relativity of perception, the chakras are very significant. Let's say that there are 7 people at a picnic. It is a balmy day and the park is full. Each of these 7 people will have a very different experience of the world based upon the activity of his or her chakras. This is a hypothetical example, since rarely are the chakras activated sequentially. Most of us have a mixture of open and closed, but for illustration purposes, our 7 imaginary people will help us to better understand the filtering of perception that occurs through the chakra system. Let's say that the first person is living primarily through the first chakra, which is located in an area near the base of the spine. This individual will be most concerned with security and survival. Forget that it is a beautiful day, this person will be anxious. All those people roaming around are possible threats, and the person would be very guarded around strangers. Our second imaginary person lives mostly in the second chakra, located about 2 inches, 4 centimeters above the base of the spine. This person is driven to constantly search for new sexual experiences. If he or she is not actively engaging in trying to find someone to have sex with, he or she will be besieged by constant sexual fantasies. This person may even find it difficult to have a conversation with anyone else in a group because he or she cannot help cruising the crowd. The third person in our group is stuck in the solar plexus, which is located back behind the pit of the stomach. His or her only real concerns are status and power. If this person engages someone in a conversation, it will only be for what the person might offer. That is, those corporate power lunches and cocktail parties. Moving our attention to the 4th chakra, we note that he or she is in the heart chakra, located behind the sternum in the center of the chest. For this individual, the world will be full of love. This love is not romantic, but is more akin to what the ancient Greeks call agape or divine love. For this person, the world is love. The love can range from a soft feeling of interconnectedness to an intense experience of universal love. In some cases, such persons spontaneously enter samadhi due to the intensity of their bhakti, experience of divine love. When the heart opens, such persons often assume that those around them are experiencing the world in the same ways they are. This can be quite a disconcerting experience when he or she realizes that this is not the case. The 5th person in our little gathering is centered in the throat chakra, located in the area of the vocal cords. This person will be highly creative, and depending upon the strength of his or her will, creations will come into reality very quickly. It is said in many alchemical traditions that when an individual enters highly advanced evolutionary states, his or her words instantly move into manifestation. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we just reached the 5th person. Okay, our sixth person is psychic and possesses the gifts of the inner senses due to the fact that the third eye is open. The third eye is an oddity in that the energy point for the chakra is located in the forehead area just above the eyes. However, according to some yogic systems, the chakra is actually located between the eyes and back behind the bridge of the nose bone, about an inch, 2 centimeters. Interestingly, this is an area of the brain where the pituitary gland, master regulator of the endocrine system, and the hypothalamus sit. The hypothalamus, the brain's information processing center, allows the brain to communicate with the rest of the body through what are called hypothalamic pathways. The coincidental juxtaposition of the subtle energy center and such a major nerve plexus in the brain is most interesting. The person with an opened third eye sees the world through the filter of psychic vision. He or she might easily see the auras or energy fields of those around them. He or she might even sense their desires or hear their thoughts. In some cases, he or she might even have prophetic vision in that he or she can sense the probable futures of those around them. Note that I say probable futures. I do not believe that the future is predetermined. There are possibilities or choice points, and a psychic individual can sometimes sense these. But no one can predict one's future with certainty because we all have the power of choice. And choice affects our destiny. Finally, the seventh person in our group is centered in the crown chakra, which is located at the top of the head. For this person, the world is seen as the play of Maya illusion. Though in the world, he or she is detached from it. He or she senses the world in a way that is very difficult to imagine, for consciousness has become aware of itself. The mirror of awareness has been directed inward, and the yogi or yogini has seen the self, the one great being living and expressing through innumerable forms. While such a person may have compassion for the sufferings of others, he or she is not caught up in them. This person sees the world much like a shadow play, no longer affected by the dramas of life. He or she has become aware of the puppeteer and the light that casts the shadows. What was taken as reality is no longer perceived in this way. The yogi or yogini has attained enlightenment. In reality, the situation is much more complex than this, since rarely are the chakras balanced sequentially. Thus, it is possible for a person to have one or more chakras highly activated while residing in another in terms of psychological motivations. Many an unsuspecting disciple of a spiritual master has been disillusioned by this phenomenon. One is drawn by the obvious spiritual power and perhaps psychic abilities of a teacher, only to find that he or she is power hungry and manipulative. Or he or she might be promiscuous and not honoring of sexual boundaries. The conflict for a student caught in the unwanted sexual advances of a spiritual teacher can be psychologically quite difficult. The problem is that the attainment of spiritual powers is not necessarily connected with psychological maturity. Just because a yogi or yogini has attained high states of samadhi and bliss does not mean that they have addressed their psychological issues. I find that weird because I feel like you do have to clear in order to bring these experiences in, but it could be my wrong perception of that. I don't understand how these certain chakras are open to such a way that without having to clear your traumas and your densities. Not fully understanding that because I always thought the clearing was somehow related to your chakras aligning and opening or your gifts coming in. But obviously I have it's not so for everyone. I think that may be true for me and how my system's working and how my path is unlocking, but it may not be that for everyone. But yeah, this kind of gives me a little bit of confusion. Anyway, thus someone who has unresolved issues in the lower three centers may misuse their spiritual powers. So I guess, yeah, I guess you could have different aspects of unlocking. Yeah, different things you're clearing that allow for certain gifts to come in and other aspects of yourself that haven't been cleared yet. I believe that's that. Okay, okay. I understand a little bit. But also understand that my path isn't everybody's path. And so my truth isn't everybody's truth. Like how I'm being explained stuff in order for me to progress in my evolution is not what everyone else would be experiencing or being taught. Because everyone's journey is specific to them and the best way for them. So maybe this is just the best way for me, not for everyone. Oh man. This is beautiful how different it is. I remember also I saw this thread the other day and this lady was like, well, people are not safe spaces. I don't know why they want safe spaces in others. We're all like energy, unstable energy. You know, you're not even a safe space for yourself. And I thought about that. And I was like, well, for my reality, I do want safe spaces. I do want humans that are balanced and harmonious within themselves enough that they are safe spaces for frequencies that are aligned with them. And they may not be safe spaces for everyone, but safe spaces to some based on alignment, right? I think that's how I unfold more. One, being safe within myself and unfolding to myself and feeling safe enough to do so that I'll be loved by myself, even if I see aspects of myself that I do not believe to be lovable. So loving myself enough to be a safe space for myself, to see those aspects of myself and love them. And then by extension, having that experience with others and people of that frequency, if that harmony, that in harmony with me in that way. But I think what she's saying is true too for her experience and what she came to experience. So it's really cool how people can have different thoughts and experiences and different truths and live those truths out. And it doesn't have to be a right or wrong situation. Anyway, I digress. You might, for instance, have a person who is a great teacher, but who has not resolved his or her inherent psychological hostility. God help the student of such a teacher. Or you might encounter someone with extremely developed psychic abilities, but with an unresolved need to manipulate others. Such a person might show all the signs of spirituality, but she or he will subtly, and perhaps not so subtly, use his or her psychic powers to sway you. In many of these cases, the person is unconscious of his or her own psychological motivations. But just because something is unconscious does not mean it cannot do harm. In the point of fact, our unconscious motivations often do more harm than those of which we are conscious. This is one reason I believe that persons undertaking the path of alchemy need to become cognizant of their own psychological histories and motivations. The Shakam. As I mentioned earlier, the rising of the digit and the activation of the chakras takes tremendous energy. The energy that propels itself up the digit is nothing less than one's own life force called Shakam, or literally the power that makes things erect. Shakam is the hidden meaning behind obliques. Obliques are oblats. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know, those tall, straight things in Egypt. Oblaks, obliques, blisks. Are freestanding kind of pillars, except that they don't support anything and they are pointed at the tip. They are erected all over Egypt, usually in honor of an important personage. However, they are essentially monuments of the vital power of the Shakam. One of the primary tasks of the alchemist within the Egyptian system is to raise his or her excess life force, or Shakam, up the digit. The net result of moving Shakam up the digit is that the seals or chakras become activated and strengthened. As each chakra is stimulated, latent areas of consciousness and awareness are opened. It is important to understand that Shakam is intimately related to both one's life force and one's sexuality. This power can be used to create a new being as through the act of sex, or it can be used to create higher states of consciousness as through the act of raising the digit. The primary power to accomplish both of these feats is the same. It is simply a matter of what is done with the energy that determines what is accomplished. To put this in its most simplistic terms, a major source of spiritual illumination within the Egyptian system of alchemy is transmuted sexuality. Okay, so the next thing, should I read the Uraeus? I'm going to read the Uraeus, and then the next time I'm here, we'll be raising the Digit and the Mythophorus. Okay, so let me just read the Uraeus. When the energy of Shechem is the transmuted life force pours into the head through the raising of the digit, there is a tremendous stimulation of the higher brain centers. This activation of these centers eventually generates what is called the Uraeus. In sacred Egyptian art, one often sees important personages with a snake coming out of their foreheads. This serpent symbolically signifies that the person has attained the Uraeus or has the authority granted by the Uraeus. It often appears on the headdress of gods and goddesses as well as royalty. I suspect the artistic use of the Uraeus eventually degenerated into a stylistic statement, and the original spiritual intent was lost. However, its primary symbolic meaning is that of having attained an activation or anointing of the higher brain centers. This implied that such a person could see beyond the duality of the world, symbolized by another serpent form, that of Apophis. Unlike the serpent of the Uraeus, which is related to enlightenment, Apophis represents the sine wave of all form, the dualistic play of opposite forces in creation. The gift of the Uraeus is a type of psychic vision, clairvoyance, that allows one to see beyond the veils of illusion, the play of dualistic opposites. Activation of the Uraeus brings with it a whole host of non-ordinary awareness and abilities. From my own personal research, I believe that, for one, it increases creativity and intelligence. For another, it stimulates some of the powers of consciousness or cities I mentioned earlier. Once again, the changes created by alchemy can be tracked to changes in brain function. As yet, there are no studies on the specific brain changes created by the Uraeus phenomenon, but I suspect, based on personal observation, that they involve changes in neurotransmitters and increases in endorphin levels. Since the Uraeus is sensed in dreamlike states of awareness, I also suspect increases in alpha and or theta activity. Finally, I believe that there is a radical increase in non-dominant hemispheric functioning in those who experience this phenomenon. My reason for this is that in my own experiments with precursors of the Uraeus, my sense of space became highly altered, and there was a cessation of internal dialogue, which would indicate a decrease of activity within the dominant or talking hemisphere. It is not in the scope of this introduction to discuss the many interesting points regarding alchemy and brain physiology, but I will say this: the practices of internal alchemies, such as the Egyptian stream, create definite changes in brain function, which in turn directly affect perception. By masterfully controlling these brain states through meditative practices, the alchemist is able to enter non-ordinary realms of awareness. And it is through these unusual states of inner attention that the practitioner is able to affect the quantum realm, i.e., the car body and the urias. So I'm going to stop there for today. I'm trying to see if anything I read connects with what I've been experiencing. I don't know yet. Sometimes I don't see the connection till later. Ooh. I hope you guys have a great day. Just want to send all my love and prayers out to the people of the Caribbean that had to deal with Hurricane Beryl. I hope that you recover quickly and you heal wholly, in a whole way. And that it cleared what needed to be cleared in order for the renewal that comes after clearing. Clearings aren't always easy. We don't see their benefit most times till we get to the next side. Lord have mercy. Anyways, so have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Today's Thursday. It's July 4th in America. So it's a holiday. Maybe I'll be on tomorrow for Friday's video. I don't know. But anyways, I wish you guys love. I wish you guys know you are loved, that you are loved, that you take time with yourself and love yourself as much as you can. Give yourself, understand yourself, accept yourself so that you can be that for others. Hope you have a great day. Bye, guys.